Hi everyone, you're watching Privet from Kazakhstan with me, Bilkis Bahari. So today we have a very interesting topic. It's on environmental protection. And it's been a topic of discussion for many years now. And we've seen many advertisements on climate change, pollution, less usage of plastic, save paper, and all that. But do our lifestyle and habits really help to protect the environment? Today we have Daphne Cheah, who is a climate advocate from Malaysia. She has a strong passion towards protecting the environment, and interestingly, it started when she discovered the joy of scuba diving 7 years ago. And she shares a lot of information on her Instagram at Daphne_Uijen, Uijen. So I tag her account in this video in the description of this video so that you can just click on it and check out her Instagram profile. Privet from Kazakhstan. Privet.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Hello, salam, apa kabar? I guess from Malaysia.
How are you?
I am doing great. How about you?
I'm good. I
Yeah,
haven't.
but life looks so exciting in Kazakhstan for you, actually.
It is. And you should visit Kazakhstan after this whole pandemic is over.
Oh my God, yeah. I can't wait for it to be over, seriously. It's like, yeah. And yes, Kazakhstan will be on the list of places that I will travel to, yes.
Definitely. But then you can't scuba dive here though. But you can still see the nature, the city, the history.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's also included in the whole environment that we need to take care of as well, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it just so happened that it was the ocean that started everything off for me. Yeah.
So, okay, you're one of the few people that I know actually who are genuinely passionate about protecting the environment. You've shared a lot of information. You've shared a lot of information on Instagram about how little things we do can, for example, like using steel straw, and how that could lessen the demand for plastic, for example.
Yeah.
But before we dive into the details, could you just share how exactly is the love for environmental protection came about for you?
Yeah. Okay. So before that, I just want to say thank you for
Thank you for
dialing in and chatting with me. It's really nice to see you. And hopefully there will be more people from Kazakhstan joining, then I can say Privet to them. So to answer your question, how did my love for the environment come about? I think, it all started when I do a lot more traveling after I graduated and started working. So I remember, I think it was the first or the second year that I started working, and I went to this island in the east coast of Malaysia. I won't name the island, but it was so beautiful. It was so clean. I spent a lot of time snorkeling, and I saw such amazing things, and this was like in year 2009.
Okay.
It was a long time ago, 2009. So beautiful, so amazing. It was really memorable. But 5 years later, in 2014, early 2014, when I went back to the same place because I have started scuba diving, I realized that yes, it's the same island, but there are a lot of things that are different and not in a good way.
Like what did you realize?
Yeah, so I noticed that a lot of the corals were dead, like 5 years before in 2009 when I went, I was just snorkeling, I wasn't even diving. It was so colorful, so beautiful. But this time, it was all just a layer of white, dead corals. at most of the places that I went. There were a lot of rubbish floating around, especially near where people live. Obviously not in front of like expensive resorts, but you know, at where people actually live, there were a lot of plastic floating around. And then even when I was diving, I could see like a spritzer mineral water bottle, you know, down there. And yeah, so it wasn't something memorable as the first time that you go back to an island that you love so much after 5 years.
That island is popular with tourists, is it?
Oh, yes, yes. Especially backpackers. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I know. And I saw a lot of plastic straws as well. I mean, I clearly remember. And this was way back in like 2014. We're in 2020 now, right?
oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So, yeah.
you were saying, continue.
Yeah. So, you know, when I saw all of that, I realized that actually all of this, it is very preventable because it is caused by us, right? Humans. And it also made me think, it made me start to think like every time when we throw rubbish away, what does away actually mean, right? You know, where is this away? Yeah, and every time we use something, whether it's a mineral water bottle, a takeaway plastic container, we always think or feel that it is someone else's problem after we throw it away. You know, it's no longer our problem, it's someone else's problem.
Oh, and after that, it's not my problem, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and you think that it is just magically gone. But it's not. And most of these things, especially plastic items, single-use plastic items, they usually end up in the landfill. And which, you know, I think now the world, we're facing a problem of not enough space for landfill. And because of how things are at landfills, you know, they're not taken care properly. Most of these things, especially plastic, because they don't decompose, they end up drifting or floating into the ocean and harming, you know, all the marine animals. Yeah. So that's why when I started scuba diving, yes, it completely changed my life in a way because, you know, it was fun, but it also opened my eyes, opened my mind to really understand that all these that are so beautiful, we need to take care of it. Otherwise, I think, you know, when you have kids, when I have kids, and when they start scuba diving, I don't really think there's anything for them to see anymore. Yeah, so that's how it all came about. We only have one home, which is planet Earth. There is no planet B. There is no other option. So
people are going to Mars now. People want to go to Mars now.
Yes, but I think maybe they need another half a century or so to achieve that, maybe. And not everyone can afford to go there. And you know, it is predicted that by year 2050, which is only 30 years away, there will be more plastic in the sea than fish.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I think it's important that, you know, we really reduce our dependency on plastic, and do our part for the environment. Yeah.
Exactly. And, you know, after you realize all these changes, right, that you've seen at the island, you've seen of the plastics, the dead corals and all that, did you change your lifestyle or habit after you realize that it is important to take care of the environment?
Yeah. I definitely did, because I do think that, you know, every small action that anybody takes can really lead towards a big change, right? Like, you know, in Malaysia, sikit-sikit jadi bukit, that kind of concept, right? And I thought,
did that in English, like little become hill.
Yeah, I think we need to translate for those who are in Kazakhstan to understand. But you can explain later what it is. Yeah, but I mean, of course, I dare not say that I have completely gone towards like a zero completely zero waste lifestyle, but I'm trying and doing what I can to reduce my plastic dependency as well as to reduce my carbon footprint where I can. Yeah,
Uh-huh. So
yeah.
what are some of the things that you do to reduce the carbon footprint and reduce the plastic dependency?
Okay, so first, I think very simple, which everybody can do. I carry around a water bottle, a reusable water bottle everywhere I go. You know, especially like for me, I travel a lot,
Uh-huh.
and you know sometimes when you're at the airport, like you're not allowed to bring water in, right? So you end up buying a lot of plastic water bottles, drinking water. But if you bring this, at most airports in the world, they give you, you know, a place to refill your bottle.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, and you don't have to waste money, save environment. That's
Great.
one. That's
And
one.
you can bring it to the office as well,
Yeah,
especially.
yeah, that's what I do too. To the office, I bring my own mug
Uh-huh.
with a statement on it. Yeah, that. And then also, I have, I mean, I try my level best to not use plastic straws. It
Okay.
feels a little bit awkward, you know, when you're at the shop and then you tell them, Annette, don't want straw, you know, at the mama.
And the mama.
But yeah, but slowly as you know, when you're a regular at the mama, they see you as this is the girl that requests for no straw. So I carry my own
Wow.
pouch with I have two kinds of straws. One is a metal straw,
Uh-huh.
and the other one is a bamboo straw. So you can literally buy this at a lot of places now.
Uh,
Maybe you should open an eco shop in
that's
Kazakhstan,
what
Bilkis.
I mean.
I'll be your supplier.
Okay. Okay. We can talk about it after this IG live, okay?
Yeah.
Because in Kazakhstan, we really need a lot of awareness and a lot of products, the eco-friendly products. So
Yeah,
plastic
yeah.
straw, no, not plastic straw. Metal straw will be in demand here. I mean, you make it as a lifestyle habit.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
definitely buy.
And and it's really cool, you know, like when you go to like a coffee place and then
Uh-huh.
you take up your metal straw to sip your iced latte. Like
Yeah.
people are like, oh, okay, she's one of those people. Oh, but at first it was awkward, but now I think people find it really cool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
Malaysia is very, I think it's common now for people to
yeah,
use um
yes.
metal straw.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep, yep. So apart from the straw thingy, another really simple thing is I carry and collect a lot of recyclable bags that I keep in my car because
Uh-huh.
when I go shopping, especially grocery shopping, yeah, you know, you make sure that you don't use, I mean, you don't take the plastic after you do, yeah, your marketing. But most importantly, I think another simple thing is when I buy, like, let's say my fresh produce, vegetables, fruits, or even things like milk and all that,
Mm-hmm.
I try to make sure that I buy something that is locally produced
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, there is a two-prong benefit for that because you help to spur the local economy. That's one. And
Mm-hmm.
two, you really reduce your carbon footprint because imagine if the milk that I buy, yeah, it tastes so amazing. It comes from Australia, but you know, it came from on a plane and then,
Mm.
you know, the truck has to bring it to the warehouse. Imagine the carbon footprint that you're actually, you know, producing
But
indirectly.
kasihan the farmers in Australia, they thought that they can export their
The people there drink a lot of milk, they can keep it there. I will support the Malaysian economy. So, you know, for the people in
yeah.
Kazakhstan, yeah, maybe when you do shopping, think about how you can, you know, buy more locally produced things. But of course, I understand, you know, it's very different there. It's seasonal and not
Exactly.
everything is available throughout the whole year. So, yeah, you can't help it sometimes.
A
Yeah.
lot a lot of the products here are actually locally made. So even the milk,
Mm,
the yogurt and everything
mm.
locally
Yeah,
made.
that's really good, actually. You
Yeah.
know, like how over here people are like, oh, I need to buy this, which is like from Switzerland or from Italy or from New
Eat,
Zealand.
I eat
Um,
like I don't know Australian or I don't know Japanese beef and all that.
yeah. So yeah, let's all of us try to, you know,
Support
buy
local
local
business.
produce more. Yeah, and from a scuba diver standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
now, you know, especially in the last 2 to 3 years, every time I go diving, if I see there are rubbish, which, you know, about 70% of the time I see it, even though I've been to like the most remote areas in Indonesia, like in the Derawan Islands,
Mm-hmm.
you won't believe it. You know, it's so beautiful, but suddenly you're diving with manta rays and there's a Coke bottle floating by.
Oh my gosh.
It just pains your heart.
Gosh.
Yeah, or like suddenly you are looking at like this cute little fish within the coral and
Uh-huh.
suddenly you see, oh my god, there is a, you know, like a what do you call that, a junk food wrapper
Uh-huh.
appearing beside the fish. It just doesn't make sense that
Yeah,
we should
yeah.
continue like this. Yeah, yeah.
I could
So
imagine.
those are the changes.
But how do you feel after you make these changes?
I feel good actually, because I know that I'm doing my part, and at the
Okay.
same time, when I do it, you know, people notice it, people start asking, and then you get to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and me being me, you know, I will just say what I think, say what I feel, and
Uh-huh.
either people walk away convinced that, oh, I should do something, or they are convinced I'm a little crazy.
But you share your knowledge and you're
Mm,
actually walking the talk.
mm.
So
I hope so. I hope so.
and you know
Yeah.
um I think what people have to realize is that there's a chain of reaction in the ecosystem. In a
Mm-hmm.
way, whatever they do, I think people have to realize that whatever that they do, there's consequences. And
Yep.
if they continue to, for example, use a lot of papers unnecessarily to print,
Mm,
uh,
mm.
that will, in a way, leads to increasing demand for paper and
Yeah, yeah.
increasing demand and increasing deforestation. So in the end, we'd have few trees left, and wild animals basically don't have a place to stay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
So, mm.
that's what I try to um, convince people a lot, not to print. That's one very hard challenge, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me about it. Yes, it's one of
Yeah.
the hardest things to reduce, especially in the office, you know, because I think people are still so used to, you know, seeing things in hard copy and but I think you know, to be really optimistic, I see about 80% of my circle of friends, as well as my colleagues in the office, they have really, like, how do I put it? Like, it becomes top of mind for them. Like, oh, do I really need to print this? Oh, do I really need to use this plastic container for takeaway? Do I really need to use this paper cup? So I think there is a real good optimistic pickup trend right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, how do you educate other people
Mm.
about the importance of protecting the environment? Or, how do you help them to become aware that some of the little things that they do, let's say bringing the water bottle like you do, and or the straw, how could that change how to say, how is that protecting the environment?
Yeah, okay. So the first part of the question, how do I educate others? I think it goes back to what you mentioned earlier, which is walking the talk. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you really have to do and be a real life example to the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like I said, you know, when I start taking out my metal straw, people start noticing and they actually ask. And it's a very good conversation starter. So I think on a personal level, how do you educate people is to really live out what you preach. Yeah, just walk the talk on a personal level. But you know, of course, if you know, you are the kind of person who has a lot of influence, like you, you know, share resources, share resources online, anything that is out there that you feel is beneficial or will help people to, you know, be more aware. Just share it on whatever platforms that you have. That's what I try to do as well. Yeah, the next question that you asked was, how does all these things lead to protecting the environment, right?
Yeah.
You know, just going on the topic of plastic alone, can you imagine that plastic takes between 250 to 400 years to decompose?
Very, very long.
So, you know, can you imagine if even if we believe in you know, being born into a new life karma or whatever, I don't know, after 5 lifetimes, that same plastic bottle that you drank from yesterday would still be around.
Exactly.
So yeah, so most importantly, you know, it really reduces the amount of waste, especially single-use plastics. It helps to reduce the space that we need in landfills as well, because, you know, most of us, we are privileged enough to live in, you know, proper areas, nice areas. You don't see the landfill. If, you know, if I were to ask anybody who is here right now, do you know where the landfill in your area is? Do you know? Right? Most people, I think, would not have the answer.
Me, I think so.
Yeah, and yeah, it's a really huge problem because I think, you know, as the population of the world grows, we need more space for people to live in, clean water, clean places. But at the same time, the more we grow, the more people there are on this earth, the more landfill space that we need, and there is not enough. And what happens is people just throw everything into the sea, or they, you know, yeah, it's just sad. So when we do all this, we reduce all of this.
But I've read somewhere somebody argued that because there are enough trash cans in public places. But the thing is, you know, you and I have both been to Japan. Do you realize that in Tokyo there are not many trash cans in public places, but it's very clean.
Yes, do you know why? Because in Japan, they actually charge the businesses for waste disposal. There are a few countries, I believe, in this world who does that. I think in Switzerland, in Germany, and also in Japan. So in order for, you know, I mean, like here in Malaysia, I'm not sure how it is in Kazakhstan, you know, we have Alam Flora coming to pick up our trash, and we don't pay for it, right? It is the state government that pays for it, let's just say, or the city council that pays for it. But in Japan, you have to pay for that service. So why we don't see trash cans out there is because if everybody keeps throwing rubbish into, let's say I open a family mart in Japan, and I put my trash can outside, every Tom, Dick, Harry who walks past will throw rubbish in there, and I have to, you know, foot the bill. Sorry. Yeah. So I keep the trash can inside.
I see.
Inside my shop.
But then the Japanese people themselves, they don't just throw rubbish in public. They keep it. I've seen a Japanese lady, she blew her nose with a tissue, and then she put the tissue in her bag. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, and I lost my train of thought. I wanted to say, yeah, that's what they do, because I think one of the most crucial elements is also education. The Japanese, the moment they step into the education system, it is drilled into their heads that recycling and keeping things clean, keeping places clean is part of their lifestyle, is part of their culture.
Yeah.
But for a lot of other cultures in other countries, it is, I throw it away and it's no longer my business, right? So
Uh-huh.
we need to start that kind of culture, just like what the Japanese do.
Yeah. To make it as a lifestyle, because even
Yeah.
keep on preaching, you have to keep everything clean, you have to segregate
Yeah.
your trash, you have
Yeah.
to use that, but people will be like, yeah, okay, and then they don't do it. So
Yeah.
from young, I always believe you have to brainwash them.
In this case, it's a good thing, right? So yeah.
And now we can see in the news
Mm.
everywhere, because we have to wear masks now, and
Mm.
people just take off their mask and throw it out in the street.
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah.
one horrible thing to do. So,
It
um,
is.
how do I say? This would also not just affect the environment, it will also affect the people, because somebody else might accidentally touch it
Yes.
and then get
Yes, exactly.
whatever, right?
Yeah. So I think on top of this whole enforcement of wearing masks, it should be complemented with an education program, I feel, on how to dispose your mask, how to dispose your mask properly and where to dispose it. Otherwise, I don't know, I think 2 years down the road, I'm gonna start seeing masks floating in the sea when I go diving.
that, that that is just horrible, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I remember the question that I wanted to ask you. You mentioned
Mm,
about bringing the bags to go buy groceries, right?
mm.
Malaysia, when you order groceries online, do
Mm.
they send in like the plastic bags, or they send
Oh God. Yes. No, they send it in plastic bags, wrapped in plastic bags, and more plastic bags. But I think, especially in these last 4 to 6 months,
uh-huh.
I think plastic dependency has gone up, has spiked a lot,
Okay.
because, it is, plastic is crucial to maintain hygiene,
Yes.
um, and especially in the situation that we're all in right now. And it's not like it's a problem that is, unique to Malaysia or Kazakhstan. It is the whole world. So hopefully, we're all able to come to the realization that as much as we have to depend a lot on plastic,
Mm-hmm.
to go through this pandemic, that we will still minimize it as much as possible. Yeah.
And our friend Eugene asks, do you think cloth mask is the way to go? Because the mass produce of the usual mask is creating more waste for Mother Earth. But then I thought, if I'm not mistaken, I read, I think in Malaysian media,
Yeah.
the health ministry, if I'm not mistaken, said
Yeah.
that
The DG himself said.
yeah, so some cloth masks don't really protect you, because if somebody sneezes, then you can, inhale. I mean, it's serious. It's not funny. But...
Yeah, I think there's a dilemma, between these two options. I don't think, either Bilkis or myself, Eugene, is able to give an actual correct answer for this. But my personal opinion is, follow all the recommendations by WHO. I personally prefer the surgical mask.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's much more hygienic. But just, for everyone else who also prefers surgical mask over a cloth mask, just remember to, dispose of it correctly. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And okay, how do you, I have this, one very interesting question, because you're living this lifestyle, right? How do you throw your trash? Like, do you put it in the plastic bag? Because usually people would put the plastic bag in their bin, and then they would just tie up the next day and throw it. So how do you do that?
Okay, so for me, unfortunately, I
Uh-huh.
haven't gone past that stage of not
Uh-huh.
having, not using plastic to dispose of my rubbish.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, I still do, but I try to, when I do my grocery shopping, I try to buy things that are not wrapped in plastic.
Mm-hmm.
So there are several supermarkets here in Malaysia that actually start to do that already. You can
Mm-hmm.
buy all your vegetables that are not wrapped in anything. Yeah, and you just, but sometimes it's a bit like an oxymoron in a way, because not oxymoron, maybe more ironic. Sorry, I meant
Mm-hmm.
ironic,
Uh-huh.
because like they sell it without plastic packaging, and then you're supposed to tear off the plastic, put it in the plastic, and then let the person weigh, right? So, yeah, but there is a village grocer here in KL. They allow you to literally bring the vegetable there,
Uh-huh.
and then I tried a few times where I just bring along like a paper, and I
Okay.
say you take the sticker and you put the sticker on this paper,
Okay.
and that vegetable, after they weigh it, I put it into my bag, and then when I pay, I just give the paper to the cashier
That's a
to
you use newspaper or just printing paper, or what paper do you use?
like whatever recyclable, as in used paper that I have at home.
I
So
see.
I
Okay.
just bring it, I stick the sticker on that piece of paper, which I will dispose of anyways later.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I try to do. Sometimes, if I forget to bring something, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I will say, can I just put the sticker on my hand?
Uh-huh.
But sometimes they don't allow that because they think you're gonna steal the vegetable and run away. Yeah. So it's these small little things that you try to do. Yeah.
I think it's to hear all this,
Mm,
bring your own paper, you bring your own bag. For example, it
mm,
sounds like, oh my God, I have to do a lot of things, just to keep the environment clean and safe and
mm,
all that. But actually, if you make it as a habit, it's
mm.
um it's easy. It's just part of your life.
Yeah.
And I used to have problems with forgetting to bring the bag, because when I
Mm,
go shopping,
yeah.
I want to use the bag. I don't want to buy the bag because I already have a lot at home. But
Yeah.
then I tend to forget, so I put it in my car. And
Mm.
because now I just order online. They send, it's the same like in Malaysia. They send, they put it something in one plastic, and then the plastic in plastic, and then in another plastic. So
Yeah.
yeah. And
I don't know how else, until somebody creates like an alternative to plastic, but with the same functions of plastic. I don't know.
but
I
but
wish I was smarter to
in Mal-
create all these things.
in Malaysia they use the biodegradable plastic.
Yes, I think there are, because I worked on some projects
Uh,
regarding biodegradable plastics before,
uh-huh.
and usually I think the shortest time for it to actually degrade
Uh-huh.
is actually 6 months.
Uh-huh.
So if you think about it, even though you are purchasing a biodegradable or compostable uh, plastic, it
Uh,
would still stick around for that long. So why not just don't use it at all? Yeah.
exactly. Oh, somebody said that Tesco brings groceries in box, not in bags. Wow, in Malaysia, I didn't know.
Uh, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
I haven't been to
That
Tesco in a while.
in Bali, plastic bags are forbidden by law.
Yes.
you forget to bring your reusable bag, you either buy a new one or bring your groceries in hands. That's a good one. Like sometimes you have
Yeah.
to force people because I think in Malaysia and even here in Kazakhstan, they charge extra, let's say like 20 cents, 50 cents
Mm.
for one plastic bag, but you know, people don't care. They just pay.
Yeah, yeah, yes. I was going to bring up about the Bali thing later, but
Mm-hmm.
since I think your friend brought it up,
Uh-huh.
yeah, you know, in Bali, how this whole movement of, as in how this law was actually passed by the Bali governor, it was passed in December 2018.
Okay.
How it started was from two girls. They started many years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago. They were
Uh-huh.
10 and 12. 10 and 12 when they started this movement.
Mm-hmm.
They started petitioning to get, you know, all businesses in Bali to not use single-use plastics.
Mm-hmm.
And can you imagine if kids
Mm.
can understand how important it is to take action to take care of the environment? Why can't we, right? So and they never gave up. They only managed to get the law passed in 2018. I think they started in 2012 or 2013 when they were much younger, and
Mm.
now they are renowned all over the world. That movement is actually called Bye Bye Plastic Bags.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of you can Google it. Started by two local girls, two Balinese girls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the very good news is also in Jakarta.
Mm-hmm.
They have recently announced that the city of Jakarta will also ban single-use plastics in businesses,
Mm.
which is also by the movement from these two girls, Bye Bye Plastic Bags. So can
Wow.
you imagine, you know, the power of youth? Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
And Eugene asked, how about in Kazakhstan? Is the public generally conscious about climate change? From what I've seen in my 3 years living here, the younger generation are more conscious on climate change and you know protecting the environment and all that. So at least now I can see that in grocery stores they sell the bags. So if you decide to use, if you decide to use the bag, you forget to bring your bag, so you can, you know, put all your products in the bag. If not, you just use the plastic, and you have to pay a bit for, you know. But there's one grocery store here. You can choose the plastic. There's one usual plastic. There's one biodegradable.
Oh, really? Wow. There's a plastic menu. Like, hey.
If you choose the biodegradable one, it's a bit more expensive. But that's every time if I go to the shop myself, I will, whenever I remember, I will bring it. Um,
Mm.
if not, when I order online, I mean, sad to say it's a lot of plastic, but you know, I throw all my trash in the plastic, so that kind of helps.
Yeah, I think that is a really weird, ironic situation. Like we
Exactly.
tell people to you know reduce plastic, but at the end of the day, when we throw our rubbish, we need to use plastic. Yeah.
Because
Well,
putting it in a paper bag, it seems kind of unhygienic, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, like I said, I wish I was smarter. You know that so that I'll be able to invent something that solves this problem. But yeah.
But you
Oh,
know, you never know because you're actually living the lifestyle. Who knows one day? And plus, we have that business. We want to sell the straw in Kazakhstan. Don't forget
yes,
about
okay, which we will discuss after this.
it. You know, in Malaysia, right? Do they have I mean, are there any environmental NGOs or
Mm.
small groups that go around cleaning the city together, planting trees or something like that?
Yeah, yeah, there are actually. There are quite a few movements over here. That's why I was saying earlier that, you know, I see a very optimistic, positive trend taking place here in Malaysia. I don't know if you've heard of this movement called Trash Hero. So the Trash Hero movement is actually quite strong here in Malaysia. It is led by one of my diver friends. Her name is Monica, who is based in Sabah. So what they do is mainly, you know, they have communities all around the country. And on the dates that they set, they will go to specific areas to collect trash, rubbish. But at the same time, while they do that, they also educate people about why it's important to segregate your waste, why it's important for you to reduce single-use plastics, especially. So there's a very strong movement going on here called Trash Hero. At the same time, there are also groups that really advocate for zero waste shopping. So, you know, we have a lot of shops now where you bring your own containers to buy like your soap, detergent, body shampoo, conditioner. Yeah, so you just buy them in bulk in your own containers. And every time you do that, there are like special discounts. There's also a very strong movement. You know, recently there was somebody who tried to convince me to use a menstrual cup instead of pads or tampons. Yeah, and I think in my circle of friends, I see a 30-40% jump in people who are using menstrual cup. Maybe I think that is the next phase that I want to go to, apart from all these things that I'm doing, which I think is not enough for me. Yeah. So there's this zero waste, less packaging, no plastic packaging movement as well here. And there are also this group of youth over here in Malaysia. They are called the Malaysian Youth Delegation. So they open up this youth delegation, I think early of the year, every year, for people to sign up. And what they do is they run workshops to train young people on how to create campaigns to talk to policymakers to make changes. Yeah, so this group, the Malaysian Youth Delegation, they represent Malaysia at international talks and conferences, you know, yeah, and they are such an amazing group of people. I've had the opportunity to talk to them, to work with some of them. And if you think that I do a lot, I don't. These people are on fire when it comes to the environment and the Malaysian Youth Delegation. So yes, there are a lot of movement.
Awareness in Malaysia is quite high, so to speak, because people are aware if we if we use a lot of plastic, what's going to happen, and you know, people are aware about the pollution. And then plastic year in Malaysia, I mean Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, every year there's pollution. So everybody knows about that. And you know, what else do you think that we can do in our daily lives to play a small part to protect the environment?
I think, again, very simple things apart from what I mentioned. It can be, you know, as simple as before you go out from your house, make sure that you switch off everything, you know, and unplug, because there's this thing called vampire. It's called vampire something, I can't remember. Yeah, so even, do you know that
vampire will come to you at night?
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, we can put it like that. It scares people. Yeah, but it comes from the concept that, you know, even though you turn off the switch, but the plug is still in, it still feeds off and, you know, takes up energy. Yeah. So whatever that you can, you know, just unplug before you go out from your house. It helps to reduce electricity usage, which equals to reducing your carbon footprint. if you live in an area, I know there are some countries, I mean, in Malaysia, not really yet, but if you live in an area where you can actually choose to utilize solar power to, you know, power your house.
That's like in Australia, for example.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they have the benefit of, you know, a few different energy providers, unlike us in Malaysia, where, you know, it's just one monopoly. Anyways, yeah, if you can try to do that, and if you can afford it, you know, why not change to an electric car or a hybrid car, which I do not drive one.
No, but
but
there's
yeah,
issues with electric cars as well because you cannot drive it far. You have to always recharge it. So imagine from KL, I don't know. I mean, I've never tried it before, but it's just, you know, me throwing out the question. If you want to drive from KL to Terengganu, for example, with
yeah,
electric, it's going to take a lot more time because you
it
have
would
to
take
stop,
double maybe.
charge. Pardon?
Yeah, I say it would take double the time probably.
Exactly. And then while you're charging, there's also the question of security,
Where
safety.
that energy is coming from.
Yeah. And then where can you charge your car? Because I know some Petronas oil station, petrol station have the charger for the electric cars. But I don't think I don't know if
Yeah,
now throughout
not
Malaysia.
that it's not that that widely available yet at this point. But yeah, but then again, you know, the question of when you drive an electric car, when you charge your car, where is the source of the electricity from? Because like for us here in Malaysia, a majority of how we get our electricity is through coal. It's still coal. You know, then it's again like an oxymoron because yeah, you drive an electric car, you want to protect the environment, but you're charging your car with energy that comes from coal. But yeah, you know, if you're in a country where, you know, these kind of options are available, you make sure you know that your energy source comes from a renewable source. Why not, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but this is the direction that everybody will be moving to in the future anyways. Yeah. And I think, yeah, other than that, you know, every small thing, most importantly, really, I think the most crucial part is to reduce our dependency on single-use plastics. So very simple things.
That's the one thing that we should all do.
Mm.
We can use our bag instead of plastic bag.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
I think at the end of the day, we need to make the change ourselves before we ask to change. So like you
Yep.
change your lifestyle, and you know, when you go out with your friends, you take out the straw, the metal straw, and then when your friends started asking, oh, by the way, how much is it? Is it expensive?
No. I think this metal straw, I bought it for like 8 ringgit 90 cents.
Okay.
That's how much is that in
It's
Kazakhstan money? I don't know.
800 tenge, no,
But
10,000.
it's affordable, right?
Yeah, it's affordable.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you know, some things you say organic, but it's very, very expensive. So it defeats the purpose,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
you know, like Michael Jackson's quote, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
800 tenge. 800 tenge is actually quite cheap.
Yeah, see, so it's affordable. You can, yeah, okay, we'll talk about the
Okay,
other business later.
shipping. Okay, we will talk after this.
We'll work it out. You know, I know a cargo business.
Somebody asked about clothes. Yeah, sustainable clothes, if I'm not mistaken. I think brands like H&M, they do that where you can bring your old clothes.
Old clothes, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they do that. A lot of the brands do that, even like Uniqlo provide that service as well. I mean, you bring your old clothes in. I think in H&M and Uniqlo, it's regardless of what brand or whatever kind of fabric, you just bring it in and then they give you a voucher. But I think maybe Eugene's question is more of like, is it the type of clothes that we wear? Well, preferably wear cotton. If you can afford it, organic cotton. Yeah, and I mean, for example, I mean, it's a whole topic on its own, you know, because imagine the denim that you wear, that you buy from H&M or you buy from Levi's, which I think now Levi's, they have changed the way they process their denim, because the wastewater that is produced, first, the amount of water that is used to create the dye, that's already, you know, like taking up so much water. And then there's the dye to make the denim, which becomes wastewater, and then it seeps into the ground, it poisons the area around it, and then it flows into the sea and it kills all the fish. So I think we can all make very conscious choices as well, that when we shop for clothes, you know, look at the label, look at the brand, and see what does it say, like did it come from a sustainable source of cotton, how, because I think there are some brands who will put out how they treat their wastewater, or that there are some markings which will help you identify what kind of fabric you are actually buying. So yeah, but usually they are more expensive. And but once you start making those choices, you know, you will naturally start looking out for things like that. Yeah,
just conscious in everything that you want to purchase, every brand and all that, so you have to read more on that.
Yeah.
I have Google now, so it's easier.
Yes.
And yeah, with that, I'd like to thank you so much, Daphne, for
Thank you.
spending your time talking about environmental protection and how we can play our part. Although it's small, but you know, not everybody can buy electric cars tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, at least these are the small changes that we can do. And like you said, sikit-sikit lama-lama jadi bukit. Like in a way, that translated in English, it's like do things like little by
Small
little,
things can make big changes, I guess. I don't know.
something like that. Yes. And you know, I really hope this even this IG live session would in a way play a part, a small part, to make people realize that, you know, their lifestyle and habit can really affect the environment.
Yes.
Yeah, because not
So
all
thank you.
have money to go to Mars in the future.
Exactly. I think I will be long gone when people start going to Mars. So I will do my part to make sure whoever else that comes after me has still a proper place to live in, I guess.
Exactly. And most importantly, to those who are watching this, when you wear masks to go out, please make sure you discard it properly.
Please.
Don't just throw it anywhere in public trash bin. Even I think if you want to throw it outside, you have to like wrap it or something, because even though you're not sick, but whatever that you carry in your body, it could, you know, somebody else might touch it. The person could be sick. So we all have to play our part, and we're responsible for our environment. So thank you so much again, Daphne.
Thank you.